Chapter 26. The Glories of the Devotees of Lord Hari. King Shashidhwaja said, My dear kings, I have thus described the glories of the devotional service of the Lord and the wonderful characteristics of the devotees. Now, what more should I tell you? The many kings said, My dear king, you are certainly the foremost Vaishnav, for you are always engaged in working for the welfare of others. Why did you take part in the violence of war? It is seen that saintly persons engage in working for the benefit of others with their lives, intelligence, wealth, and speech. King Shashidhwaja said, The concept of duality arises from the interaction of the three modes of material nature. From material nature, the creation of the three worlds are enacted, and thereafter the Vedas appear. Just to fulfill the desires of materialistic people, the Vedas propagate the path of fruitive action. At the same time, the Vedas establish the genuine principles of religion and present the path of pure devotional service to the Lord. Under the guidance of the Vedas, great sages like Vatsyayana propagate the worship of Lord Hari, the Master of the universe, within human society. Following in the footsteps of great sages, we sometimes engage in fighting in a way that is in accordance with religious principles. According to the Vedic injunctions, it is the duty of a king to kill all aggressors. Lord Vyas, the compiler of the Vedas, has said that just as it is a sin to kill someone who deserves protection, so it is a sin to protect someone who deserves to be killed. If someone intentionally commits a sin, then no amount of atonement can purify him. That is why I killed innumerable soldiers who opposed me, and then brought Lord Kalki to my palace, along with Dharma and Satya Yoga personified. In my opinion, this was bona fide devotional service. Now all of you can express your opinions, and I will give my replies in accordance with the Vedic injunctions. Lord Vishnu is present everywhere. If this fact is established, then who can harm anyone? Who can be killed without the sanction of the Lord? The actual killer of everyone is Lord Vishnu. The protector of everyone is also Lord Vishnu. And the person being killed is part and parcel of Lord Vishnu. The Vedas, therefore, say that killing in a righteous battle or in a sacrificial performance does not constitute killing. This is also the verdict of the great sages and Manus. We worship Lord Hari by fighting, and so this is our form of sacrifice. Thus, a devotee under the shelter of Lord Vishnu's eternal energy engages in the worship of Lord Hari in the mood of a servant and achieves true happiness, and not otherwise. The kings said. Take 2. The many kings said, O ruler of men, King Nimi had to give up his life as a result of the curse of his spiritual master, Vashishta. The question is, how did he develop detachment from his body, which is the source of all kinds of enjoyment? Why did he not agree to re-enter his body when the demigods revived him? It has been heard that the great sage Vashishta also had to give up his life because of the curse of his disciple, but then received another body. The devotees of the Lord certainly attain liberation. How, after liberation, does a devotee take birth again? The illusionary energy of the Supreme Lord is incomprehensible, even to highly elevated sages. This Maya, with her variegatedness, bewilders the entire world, just like an expert magician. Upon hearing these words of the kings, Shashidvaja, who was a very eloquent speaker, continued his talks with a heart filled with devotion for the Lord. King Shashidvaja said, "As a result of performing many pious activities and visiting many holy places for many lifetimes, a person receives the association of saintly persons by the grace of the Lord. By that sadhu sangha, he gradually becomes qualified to approach the Supreme Lord. Such a person ultimately attains the abode of Lord Vishnu, where he engages in the service of the Lord without impediment. A devotee of the Lord enjoys a very blissful life, and he achieves fame in this world as a saintly person. Pure devotees worship Lord Hari with great enthusiasm, incessantly chanting his holy names, and constantly try to keep the remembrance of his transcendental form within their hearts. They sometimes perform dramas of the pastimes performed by the Lord's incarnations. They observe sacred vows such as Ekadashi, and they organize grand festivals wherein they worship the Lord with great pomp. The devotees perform all of these activities with great pleasure. The devotees so much relish their engagement in devotional service that they do not even care for liberation. Sometimes, liberated souls take birth in the world just to exhibit the truth of Krishna consciousness. The devotees are non-different from Lord Hari. Even holy places of pilgrimage become sanctified by their presence. The devotees take the essence of life, knowing very well that only devotional service to the Lord can satisfy the self. As Lord Krishna sometimes appears in this world, so his devotees also come to this world on his behalf. The Supreme Lord is always visible within the hearts of the pure devotees. This is one of his pastimes. It is for this reason that the great sage Vasishtha, although a liberated soul, accepted a material body. O kings, I have thus briefly described the glories of devotional service and the Lord's devotees. By hearing these discussions, all of one's sinful reactions are quickly vanquished, so that one's devotional service to Lord Hari is nourished. The controlling deities of the various limbs of the body also become pleased by such discussions. Such hearing counteracts all kinds of impediments, such as lusty desires and ignorance. Exalted devotees throughout the three worlds, by following in the footsteps of Srila Veda Vyas, have attained the platform of unalloyed devotional service, which frees one from material bondage. Such devotion is attained by churning the ocean of the Vedas, Puranas, and the other Vedic literature. Unalloyed devotees are considered to be as good as Lord Krishna, due to being his dear associates. Thus ends the translation of the 26th chapter of Shri Kalki Puran. Shri Radha.